Hi, hello. My name is Jared, and I'm just doing an update to my Survival Hunter guide that I made last season in Season 3. Just kind of covering a bit of the changes and things that have been going on. I do kind of want to tailor this guide for people who are new to playing Survival to make it a bit easier to understand. Um, I mean, it's not really that hard as far as the damage. I'd say the most difficulty with survival is really just kind of staying alive and then knowing when and where to use your cooldowns. I mean, which is kind of the same for every class, but Hunter definitely has its own sort of lane within that as well, with how to play the class and how to play the class correctly. I'm actually still learning myself, so I'm really just here to share the love, share the knowledge, let people know, what I've been doing in keys, and then also, if you guys have anything that you want to talk about in the comments or something that you think that I missed, let me know. We have a totally different lineup of dungeons this season, like apart from like streets and gambit, so it's totally different. It's a different feel. It's the first season. It's like kind of like this, which is pretty cool. It's my second season even mythic plusing. I used to be a PvPer up until last season. I mean, I did PvE for the most part. Well, I guess I'm kind of lying. I'm lying. I'm actually lying. It was my first season really pushing. I did do my KSM mounts for this expansion. I did all of them, but this was my first expansion PVEing really, and it's been fun. It's been super fun. And yeah, for season 4, it's a bit different than season 3, but it's not really that much different for Surf Hunters. So to briefly give you an overview of the class, what the class does, essentially you're a melee DPS who can also do ranged attacks. Um, like like every ability you have is ranged other than your melee spender, which is Raptor Strike, and even that can be ranged with a cooldown aspect of the Hawk, I believe, or Eagle, or whatever it's called. You can use that to simply use your Raptor Strike at range. But yeah, you might as well pull out a bow and arrow, and do that because everything you do is from range actually. Um, but you are classified as a melee. I just kind of want to get that in your head so that way you know that like in order to survive, you can get out of melee and keep doing damage to keep yourself safe because that's kind of what you want to do. You're a survival hunter. You want to survive, right? I'm kind of joking, but um, yeah, I just kind of wanted to give the overview there because a lot of people think that it's like strictly a melee, and if you're not melee, you're like fucking up, which you kind of are, but not all the time. Like I mean, like you can do your damage from a range. Like you can do your bomb damage all from range. If you wanted to, you can do that from range, or you can do it while moving, essentially, which is pretty cool. Um, to go over the most important things here, I should probably start with gear. Let's start with gear. So with gear, you want to get your foreset. Of course, you want to have your foreset somewhere. I've done mine on head, shoulders, chest, and gloves. And outside of that, I've stacked haste and verse gear pretty much everywhere else aside from my rings, which have crit and mastery because they're the logic loop of division and the overclocking bitband, which everybody knows gives you the 100 haste proc here, which is pretty cool. Um, Lets you burst a little bit harder when you have everything up and all of that. It makes it feel a little bit smoother too, because you just always have this extra haste, and it feels good. It makes it feel a little bit smoother. Not just this band alone, but like getting haste on this class makes the class feel better, as with many classes. Um, the next thing I'd really cover would just be the legendaries. Unity, Tactical Wildfire, Battle Gear, or Wildfire Cluster. You want both of these, slap them on somewhere. Most people have had this on their belt since Season 3, so if you have it on your belt, just leave it there. I had my Unity on my pants because it was the highest piece of gear, and I could pick the stats that I wanted, but this season, since our actual gear is actually higher than our legendary gear, it's probably better to put your legendary on a piece that doesn't matter as much as your legs. Your legs has like agility and like extra main stat or whatever, and then also extra extra stats on them as well, as opposed to your 291 Lego. So you don't want to waste a big piece like your pants on a Lego, so I switched these over to my bracers. There's also not that many great bracers as of right now. Like our tier bracers or Verse Mastery kind of sucks, not that great. Um, so yeah, I'd recommend doing that and kind of getting that all worked out there. Figure out your legendary somehow. Slap it somewhere. I put mine on the belt. I've made it many times. The next thing, really just my pants, boots, haste verse, crit verse. Like I said, logic loop, overclocking bid band for trinkets. There are a few that you can use, but these are the ones that I've been running as of recently. Enforcer stun grenade goes crazy in AoE. Like you literally just get 900 verse. Like what? Hello? And then 180 verse, on top of that. So it's like 1,000 verse, that kind of fluctuates, I guess, every 2 minutes between 180 and fucking damn near 1100, a little over 1100 verse there. So there, it's a good trinket. A few others that I've had, but I haven't really used that much. Soleil's, I upgraded this because I thought it'd be pretty good while I was gearing. Um, it is pretty good. If you have it and you don't have anything else, I would use it. This gives you big stat. If you can find somebody that takes haste, that's a good look. I'm just saying. I mean, it's essentially like a scuffed ocular. Like it's just good. Um, After that, I would get this Thunder Towers targeting reticle. It's literally just a stat stick. It doesn't do anything crazy. It just gives you verse and agi, which is awesome. So yeah, keep a lookout for that. As for the weapon, I have the Chasm Wrench docking hook from Iron Docks. Um, it is the best weapon for Mythic Plus, I believe. Our best weapon for Raid would be, let's see here. Okay, it's not our best weapon for Mythic Plus. It's the best weapon out of Mythic Plus for Mythic Plus. Best weapon out of Mythic Plus for Raid would probably be Reclaim Shock Coil. Because I mean, you just get passive damage on a single target as opposed to more haste and verse, which doesn't really matter that much in single target. So yeah, I'd probably put this on, get some crit some Raptor Strikes. Be a fast boy, you get even more haste with this weapon as well, which is kind of cool. Just less verse there, which matters a little bit less in raid. I'd actually take crit over verse in raid or single target there. So yeah, I switch those out. Your best in slot is I'm not gonna say obviously because it's not like it's something that I fucking knew that early on, but it's a jailer weapon because it upgrades the most. You want the Zovastrum, the Unmaking. Yeah, you want this weapon. When you upgrade it to Mythic, it's like 311. It goes crazy. Crit verse, big agi. Feels good, man. Keep an eye out. Definitely a good weapon there. Yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the gear. As far as my stats, I have 36% haste, 25% verse. They should be fixed a little bit, as I kind of move some stuff around, but I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot. Like, I don't feel like I'm just falling over, dying in keys. But I do think that I could use a little bit more haste and a little bit more verse. And I think I'm going to fix that with these pants and a couple of other pieces. Maybe like my cloak here or something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it regarding the gear. To get into the single target rotation. So there's only like 3 or 4 things that you want to focus on. The first thing would be throw as many bombs as possible. That's going to be the case for every version of you doing any sort of damage. Throw as many bombs as you can. AoE, single target, throw bomb. The second thing that you want to take care of in single target, because I'm focusing on single target right now, is your Serpentsing. After that, I would recommend you focus on your Raptor Strikes, or prioritize, not focus on, but prioritize your Raptor Strikes over that. And lastly, just playing around your bomb. Like, I wouldn't say that that's the first thing on the list, but like you really only want the other 2 things to complement your bombs. You know what I mean? What a single target opener would look like is your trinket, your cooldown, your arrow, Serpentsing, and then a bomb. So it's not going to be in that order. It's actually going to be Serpentsing, arrow, your cooldowns, then your bomb. Then you Raptor Strike, kill command, Raptor Strike, kill command, Raptor Strike, kill command. You're going to refresh Serpentsing here because we don't have a green bomb coming up and we have a red bomb coming up. So I'm Raptor Striking. I'm throwing my red bomb now because Now I'm about to farm. You see in here, I'm just using kill commands. In my red bomb, I use kill commands until it's over. I keep going. I keep going, and then the moment I get a proc, I throw a bomb. And here I'm about to throw another one because it's over. And now I get back to my Raptor Strike, kill command. Raptor Strike, kill command. Raptor Strike, kill command. I'm also going to reapply my Serpent Sting there because I see my red bombs coming up. I probably shouldn't have kill command there, but it is what it is. I throw my red bomb. And here, look, I'm back into the cycle. I'm kill commanding, and I'm bombing again. And you see I just refreshed my Serpent Sting there with the green bomb proc. Feels good, man. I'm going to double bomb here because I have 2 coming up there. And you see, I'm just keeping the ball rolling. I'm just keeping it rolling. I just keep it rolling. These red bombs can lead you into a lot of damage if you play with them correctly. Now I'm going to Raptor Strike there briefly just to give the bomb some cooldown there. And then I'm back to Raptor Striking and kill commanding here. And then I'm going to refresh my Serpent Sting because I have my red bomb coming up. And I'm going to throw my red bomb now. By the time the global's over, it should be up. And look, we're back into the cycle. I'm kill commanding, I'm bombing. I'm kill commanding, I'm bombing. You see what I'm doing? And then I'm back into my Raptor Strikes and kill commands. I'm going to throw my blue bomb here. Back to the Raptor Strikes, kill commands. Back to the Raptor Strikes, kill commands. Here, since I have a green bomb coming up, and it's not for a while, I'm going to have to refresh my Serpent Sting. So I'm going to put that back up. And look, I'm Raptor Strike and kill command. Please go away, Bron. Jesus. Yeah, Raptor Strike, kill command. Throw my bomb. Raptor Strike, kill command. And you know here, since we have a red bomb, we have less than 7 seconds when it comes up. I'm going to refresh my Serpent Sting right now. And then I'm going to throw in my red bomb. And look. Alright. Red bomb, kill command, bomb. Kill command, bomb, you know, but no procs there. It's all good. We're going to dump our focus. Make sure above 60 for this blue bomb here. I'm going to dump Raptor Strikes into the target. Get our Serpent Sting back up because we have a red bomb coming up. Throw this bomb. Get the farming. Look at that. I kind of dropped a little bit there because I had my Serpent Sting fall off and stuff and kind of unlucky with procs, but I mean, essentially just this. You know, you're just playing around your red bomb. During your red bomb, you farm, you fish. I didn't get that in time. It is what it is. Outside of your red bomb, your kill command and Raptor Strike, and then you're reacting to procs. Anytime you get a proc, you want to use it. But outside of that, you see my red bomb's coming up, so I'm going to use that Serpent Sting to get that rolling. That way, during my red bomb, I don't have to worry about reapplying my Serpent Sting and losing single target DPS. And you see, all of this, apart from my opener, has been without cooldowns. And I'm maintaining like roughly 13k. And it could be more if I was a bit more lucky on my procs. But I'm purposely not using my cooldowns because I want to show you like what it's like. I feel like a lot of the times like people kind of get caught up in I can only do damage on my cooldowns, and that's not the case. Your damage is from your red bomb the most. Like, I mean, yeah, you can toss your cooldowns and throw both of your bombs and do a pretty good amount of burst damage, you know, but that's it. That's it. Like, after you do that, it's over. Like, I mean, you can carve your way back up and get a bomb back, you know, and you can do that in AoE. But I mean, you could do that in AoE without anything. You could do that without your cooldowns. I mean, not the same amount of damage, of course, sustained, probably be around 40-50k, but you can hold some damage with this class. I'm telling you, like you can really do some damage even outside of your cooldowns. You can do some damage with this class, which is really cool. So that's kind of going over the single target. I really want to jump into the multi-target. It doesn't change that much. So what I normally do whenever I come in on multi-target, I'm still farming bombs, but you know, normally I'll Serpent Sting like 4 times. I'll drop my arrow, bomb, carve immediately. Then I'm kill commanding and carving. I'm getting my bombs back. I'm throwing this. I throw another bomb here, and now I'm farming my red bomb. You see I'm farming my red bomb? I'm just farming my red bomb for more bomb procs. Look at this. Just farming. See, I'm just going back, kill command, and bomb here during my red bomb. And I've been so lucky right here. I've been chaining them together. But, you know, you may not always be this lucky. Like, I'm trying to get unlucky right now, but essentially you'll carve instead of your Raptor Strike there. You don't really want a Raptor Strike there. I kind of trolled there. But yeah, I'm back in my red bomb, so I'm farming again. and now it's over, so I'm carving, then I Serpent Sing, then I throw my bomb, then I'm back in here, then I'm carving, then I throw my Serpent Sing, then I'm kill commanding, then I'm carving, then I see a red bomb coming up, so I red bomb, and look, here you go, we refresh those, look at this, see that, I'm out of it, so I'm gonna do that, you know, maybe use my cooldowns here a little bit, I'm gonna carve here at the end, because red bomb's over, see here, just farming the bombs, I'm gonna Serpent Sing into a carve there. Look at this. I'm just farming it back. Got unlucky a little bit. It is what it is, you know? Get the opportunity to put up another Serpent Sing there. Gonna throw this. Gonna carve. Gonna Serpent Sing again. Gonna carve again. Gonna Serpent Sing in the back. Gonna do this one to refresh it. Gonna carve again. Gonna Serpent Sing here. Gonna red bomb. Kill command. Kill command. Bomb. Kill command. Kill command. Bomb. You know, and that's pretty much the rotation. Like, you don't even really have to do the Serpent Sing thing if you don't want to. Like, if you literally just wanted to go in, the damage is not negligible, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's good to Serpent Sing where you have a loose global, where there's no carve, there's no opportunity for you to have, or there's no 2-stack kill command, and there's no opportunity for you to bomb, or if you don't have a bomb proc, it's good to weave in one Serpent Sing. Usually, I would say 2, but you're probably losing damage doing 2. I would say just one Serpent Sing. I'm still kind of playing with this myself, as I've just, like, I wouldn't say I recently learned the rotation, but it's finally solidifying in my head. When I first made my first guide, I didn't really understand it, but it's solidifying, and I understand how to play around Red Bomb. And outside of Red Bomb, you want to be using your Carve. Carve is your best friend outside of Red Bomb, so you can get back to Red Bomb. But that's pretty much the thing. Yeah, that's the thing for damage right there. The next thing that I really want to go over is talents. I probably should have done this before, but it's very cookie cutter for survival. The only rows that would ever really change are the 30 and 40 row. Everything else here is going to stay the same. Alpha Predator, 2 stacks of kill command. Guerrilla Tactics, 2 stacks of bomb, and bomb 100% increased damage. Give me a break. Bloodseeker, you can use kill command to put a dot on someone, and it also gives you 10% attack speed, which is pretty cool, as opposed to these single target talents like Steel Trap. Steel Trap is very negligible in damage. I mean, it doesn't really do anything. Like, it just roots them in place. It's a really good PvP talent, but it's not great as a PvE talent, as it doesn't do much damage. I mean, look, we can see here, Steel Trap's dot is, I mean, what is it ticking for? Not even really 1,000. I mean, 1 crit there, or 2 crit there, but, you know, it doesn't really do that much. Like, if we're really keeping it a bean, it doesn't do that much as damage. So it's not that great of a talent. Same thing with Crows. Crows is just not that greatly tuned. It's really cool, because I love this talent, but it's just, it costs focus. It's a minute cooldown. It doesn't reset if the target doesn't die. It's just not good. The next row would be Born to be Wild, Post Haste, Binding Shot. You can really take all 3 of these. The most fun for me is Post Haste, because you just get to be a fast boy. The best one for Mythic Plus would probably be Binding Shot, because you can just keep mobs still, which is awesome. You can even stack it with Tar Trap if you want to do some shit like that. So yeah, Binding Shot, awesome. Really, really good talent there. The last one, Born to be Wild, is pretty cool, as you can kind of a lower everything, you know, just reduce by 20%. And then, of course, you can take the Turtle Conduit as well, which, you know, gives you more turtle uses throughout the dungeon, which is kind of cool. Me personally, I just take Binding, or I take Post Haste, but, you know, you can do whatever you want. Whatever works for your group, whatever works for your comp, whatever works for what you're trying to do. You can play whatever you want in those rows, you know, up until KSM, you know, whatever. The next row would be Tip of the Spear. Tip of the Spear is the best, as it is the only thing here that really complements our damage. Everything else tries to be problematic, as other than Flanking Strike. Like, I think Flanking Strike is kind of a niche pick. It's cool if you, like, you know, you just dotted up a bunch. Why is my mouse over not working? Oh, it is working. Okay, yeah. It's cool if you dotted up a bunch of mobs and you're like focus starved, and you can like thing in to kind of even the playing field. Get your carbs out or whatever the hell it is that you're doing. But I would usually only play this in PvP. I never really played in PvE, which sucks, but it is what it is. The last row would be Wildfire Infusion by a mile by a mile. It's a lot. It's it's the one that even gives you the opportunity to chain bombs into each other. So you can put two bomb dots on each other and they will tick. Like they'll both tick at the same time. But if you don't, if you have a different talent here, not only do you not get the bonuses like red bomb, which is essentially like I don't know how much of our damage that is, but it's a lot. It's a lot of our damage, red bomb. You just don't get access to that anymore, and you can't stack the dots. Like you can't stack up two dots to tick at the same time. You only get one dot. You get one mega dot. So if you're playing chakrams, you're a moppy hunter boy. Maybe you even pull out your bow and arrow. You're plinking around. Doing some serve stuff like an idiot. Maybe you throw a bomb. You can't throw another one. Like look what happens when you throw another one. You don't get two stacks. You get a refresh on your original bomb, which sucks. You just kind of overlap. Um, so you don't want to do that. Don't want to take anything other than Wildfire Infusion in PvE, I would say. And this, it's fun. It's fun to play around. It's fun to play around red and blue bomb. I feel like they should do something else for green bomb, but green bomb's kind of boring. But it's fun to play around red and blue bomb, especially in single target. Makes you feel good. Yeah, that's pretty much that for the talents. Yeah, that's it. So we went over gear, we went over the damage, single target, and multi-target rotation. The last part that I really wanted to go over is just my notes on utility. So the first thing is Binding Shot use. Binding Shot is a great talent because you can root mobs. This is great for your burst and keys like Gambit, where you need them to stay still while you're doing your thing, because they're all over the place, especially when they get to a certain threshold. Binding Shot will keep them pinned down, while you get the brunt of your damage off, for the most part. And you don't really have to worry about, the tank not positioning them right or what have you. The moment he gets them grouped, you throw that Bind Shot down. You can even throw a Tar Trap down, on top of it, or, maybe a little bit before. And keep them in your bind, and yeah, it feels good. It feels good to get the mobs down like that. So yeah, I would really recommend you get a use for Binding Shot. I've fucking macroed these into or macroed those two together, Tar and Binding, because I really like them a lot. They're very useful. Yeah, Tar is really good for peeling for your tank. Same with Binding Shot. Binding Shot's awesome for peeling for your tank. Very good use in Mythic Plus. I recommend it. The only thing I just don't like about it is that you gotta lose the post haste, which doesn't feel that great. But sprint for utility, it's kind of a no-brainer there. We're not the slowest class in the world either, and I really don't think camo's needed for all of these newer keys. Like you can easily make it with Trailblazer. I've done it many times. Easily make it with Trailblazer and Inji Belt and maybe some Invis pots, and you're good to go. That was it for that Binding Shot talent there. The next thing that I want to talk about was Trank. Here's a useful macro for Trank. I will try to remember to put this in the description. If I don't, please just let me know. I will definitely try to put that in the description so you guys can have that. If I can find it here, where's my Trank macro? There it is. So what this macro does is if it's a harmful target, mouse over, and it exists, it will cast Trank Shot at my mouse over if I have a mouse over. If a mouse over doesn't exist, it will Trank Shot at my target. So look, I will turn my back to this guy, and I will simply turn him. You'll see where our mouse is over here. It's highlighted. If I hit Trank Shot, it goes on the target, like any other regular ability, right? I have this macroed for a lot of things, actually. I have it macroed for Kill Command, but essentially what it allows me to do is mouse over Trank. This is invaluable to me in fucking Mythic Plus, because especially during this week where it's raging, or yeah, raging, or you can just like you see a mob acting up, you just go and trank them. You just like, aim at them, trank them. You know what I mean? Same thing with Serpent Sting. I find applying Serpent Sting like this to be way easier than applying serpentine, like clicking target to target. I mean, except for when they overlap like that, I guess it's like the only time. But serpentine, mouse over. I even have a kill command mouse over, so I can kill command multiple targets. I think that's really fun for the attack speed here. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the bind shot use there and the trank there. The next thing that I really wanted to cover is trap interrupt. So you have a regular interrupt there. You saw it was muzzle. You can kick mobs, but there are many mobs you can just interrupt with a trap or interrupt with a stun. That's something to keep an eye out for. If you can stun a mob on a cast, that's awesome. If you can trap a mob on a cast, you could trap a mob to stop a cast, like a channel cast, like back in DOS with the Blade Storms. I'm sure I covered that already, but yeah, like back in DOS or something along those lines. Feels freaking good, man. Like, no lie, it feels good. Feels good to trap a mob that's doing a really high damaging ability, and you're trying to get away from it. So yeah, I recommend that for sure. Trying to trap interrupt, that will help you out a lot. The last few here, oh yeah, we already went over stun. The next thing that I wanted to go over was scare beast. Scare beast works on beast. Yeah, exactly how it sounds. You scare or you fear a beast, and essentially goes away. That's pretty much it. You just scare beast and it goes away. I apologize about that. That was not supposed to happen. But yeah, you can scare the bats from Zolgamax inside of the new well in Mythic Plus dungeons, but with the new affix, there's like the infiltrator mobs that will spawn there and kind of jack you up there. So you can whenever they spawn the bat, what I do if it's ranged and they spawn on the mob, I'm sorry, I'm trying to change my music at the same time. But yeah, if it's ranged, like say for instance this guy, I'm marking with a square or something, that's my healer, and I see that like I get the weak aura on my screen, I will just simply mouse over and throw a trap on top of them, and it will trap the bat. But if I'm in close range, like if I have a melee here and it gets on a melee, I will simply switch to the bat and then scare it immediately, because you only have to CC it one time in order for it to go away, which is super useful. Like it's awesome if you're able to do something like that, and kind of allow your team to continue doing damage. Another thing that you can do is it's probably really useful to set a mouse over focus to something. Mine's like the weird lefty click in my mouse wheel, so I can mouse over focus people. But this is useful because, like, say for instance this is Zolgamax or whatever, and the bat spawns, you can just stun them. You can just stun them and just keep doing damage. You don't have to worry about it. You just spent a global. You didn't spend any time clicking around trying to fear him or whatever. You can just simply mouse over him, stun him, call it a day. You know what I mean? So I recommend getting a mouse over focus, and then also like maybe a focus stun if you wanted to do that. And those are relatively easy macros to make. Let me go back here. Like focus intim. You just focus intim, cast intim, or cast at focus intimidation. I have some shit in here from PvP. You don't really have to worry about that. You really only need these two lines, and I will try to remember to put these in the description if anybody wants those. I'll do a few, but if you guys want any more, just let me know in the comments. Like if you really want one of the macros that I show here, let me know something. I will put that in the comments or put that in the description for you. I guess I could go over these while I'm here, because that was really the last of my utility stuff. I went over tar trap. Oh, lastly, let me just go over this really quickly. Wing clip. Get a mouse over wing clip. This helps a lot. It's a really big slow, or it's a long slow, and it's a pretty big slow. It's for 50%. A lot of times I'll be using a blood beast. I could like blood bolt or something like that, or raptor strike, or a little bit of both or whatever. But yeah, you can slow, and raptor or wing clip is really useful. I feel like I've used it a lot, like to peel mobs as like a tank is running away. I can just mouse over a bunch of mobs, and it only costs 20 focus, I believe. How much does wing clip cost? Yeah, 20 focus. You can do it a lot of times in a row. Like you can do it like weaving kill commands and whatnot. You can slow these guys forever. which is super useful, especially if there's like a priority mob that you want to get away. I can't think of any off the top of my head to give you as an example, but I do use wing clip quite a bit. That's the last of the utility stuff. I guess really next would just be going over the macros, like I said I was going to do, of course. Um, these are really the ones that I use the most. So a lot of these aren't things you need. Like this Raptor Strike macro is actually stupid as hell. It's for me to be able to use my bow. Like you guys saw a bit earlier. It's not something that you need. Um, this one is, I just want to go to the useful ones. So I have a mouse over harpoon or harpoon at target. That one's pretty useful. This entire, like this back, this is useful. Like if you want to use this for a bunch of like mouse over shit that you may use, I recommend it. This little portion right here, and you can replace these spells with whatever you like that has range or can be used at a mouse over. I even have this into my kick. Like say for instance I'm hitting this guy and this guy starts casting, I can kick this guy. You see he moved there, he had like a little animation on him. And then I also have focus kick, in case I ever need that. Like if there's like a mob that I know is going to cast something, a lot of the times I'll put him on focus, and then I will do my entire damage rotation and literally just wait for the cast, make sure I'm in range, and then kick the mob. You know what I mean? Like right here, like I will just do my whole rotation and then kick the mob over there while they're casting, and it'll work. Focus kicks are awesome in Mythic Plus, so yeah, highly recommend. Um, there is a Covenant macro. This one, you can find this. Just look up class Covenant macros. I put in at cursor here because I don't like seeing my marker or the green marker on the floor for anything really. Not for traps or anything like that. I'll just mouse over. That's why I have this reticle that's already here on my my mouse. But yeah, it does Fleet Shot, Death Chakra, and Wild Spirits all in one. You can just put the Covenant macro here, and it works. Feels good, man. Definitely recommend. This is my mount macro. This is a pretty cool macro. The main reason that I use this is to cancel Aura Brawn, because Brawn is fucking annoying. But it's also really useful because it has like modifiers on it. So if I use this and it's a flyable zone, I get on my flying mount. If I alt it, I get on my repair mount. And then of course if I shift it, it gets on, a two-seater. Well, I guess not, of course, not like you would have known that, but two-seater mount in case I ever need it. I rarely use it, but and then of course in a no-fly zone, it puts me on a ground mount, which is pretty cool. So if you want that macro, let me know. I use it as a dispel for Brawn as well, so I can get rid of Brawn whenever I need to on the fly. That's my aspect of the turtle to make sure I don't spam it. I put an exclamation point in front of it, make sure it doesn't happen. It will stop you from being able to spam your turtle. And then I put into my Serpent Sting to cancel my turtle, so whenever I Serpent Sting, I know I'm coming out. That's it. The next one is just a Tranquilizing Bloodlust macro that I put here, because I want to be able to see the cooldown of Trank Shot. Many of these are cooldowns or macros that are like that because I just want to see a cooldown. Like here's my racial cooldown, but it's actually Roar Sacrifice as the tooltip there, because I don't really care to see Auric Racial. I press it when I press it. It's macroed into everything, but in case there was ever a reason that I really just only wanted to press Auric Racial, I can. This macro is very cool. This is a pet command. This is a pet command macro that works for pretty much just cunning in tenacity pets. So you have a cunning pet, or if you have a tenacity pet, it will wall you, right? That's the button I just pressed. That's the macro right there. If you have a cunning pet, he will freedom you. See there, Master just called me there. It was a little bit before he spawned because I pressed it too fast, but he still did freedom me there. That's what that macro is for. I have a Focus Scare Beast, of course. It is what it is. I have an Armor Kit macro. Not that useful. Focus Trank, Misdirect. This is a really good one. Smart Misdirect. I went over this in my previous video, but in weak auras, you can have a weak aura called Smart Misdirect. You can Google this. It'll come right up. Put this in your weak auras if you are a hunter. It lets you use misdirection with the macro rather than targeting all the time. You just press misdirection. If you're in a group where there is a tank, it will automatically prioritize the tank. If you do not have a tank, it will prioritize your pet. It is very useful for PvE content. You can use that to kind of save your ass or to misdirect to your pet if ever needed, but usually you're just using it to press on the tank. You don't have to worry about targeting him and doing it or doing some weird shit every pull. You can just focus on doing your damage and staying alive with this macro. You press it when it's time to press it and forget about it. Misdirect be like improved threat to tanks. Next, was there any other important macros? Let me just go over here quickly. No, that's a useless man. I'm gonna get rid of that. Oh, I do have these on use and trinket macros where they just use 13, 14, you know, along with whatever racial that I want to put my 13 for, because 13 is usually an offensive trinket. But yeah, the rest of these are kind of just quality of life sort of deals. I mean, I can make a full video on just macros if you guys want me to, but yeah, I love macros. I have many of them. A pot macro, a bunch of stuff, you know. I like to keep my UI minimal, so however macros can help me, I'm going to use them, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's pretty much it for the macros. We went over damage rotation gear, macros, utility, all of that. Last thing I did want to go over was just pet stuff and how it pertains to Season 4. So there's 3 types of pets. You have Cunning, Tenacity, and Ferocity. Or Ferocity, Tenacity, Cunning, however you want to do it. I have one of each on me at all times, and then you know, I may switch them up depending on what ability I'm currently liking at the moment. Like all Season 3, I was all over the bear for the trigger defense because you could like growl Earth Slams and like the bear would just live with the trigger defense. It feels really good. But this season, it's not so much like that. You know, it's mainly about having a pet that just does damage, gives you lust, or mortal wounds. All the pets pretty much do the same damage, except for the cat here. You can get some procs off of their prowl there, but I mean it's essentially the same thing. So you know, there's that. The other type of pet that there is or I guess there's 2 other types. There is the cunning pet. This one doesn't get really any play in Mythic Plus. The only reason my cunning pet gets any play is because he has immortal wounds. I PvP a little bit, so I got rebanned from King's Rest. As you know, he can't be polymorphed or sapped or any of that nonsense in PvP. So yeah, you know, if you see any hunters at PvP, they likely have this pet. This pet I use strictly for mortal wounds. He puts mortal wounds on the target. This is great for Zolgamax or any of the infiltrators who be healing, Vampiric Claws, all that shit. You put this pet on them, reduces their healing by half. Just helps you. Like, it just helps you kill them. You know what I mean? So, definitely worth, if you can find the 4 seconds in between pulls to swap to the better pet, I would do it. I do it all the time. The last pet that I have is a Blood Beast. Their ability is to a wall. Like I mentioned a bit earlier, they can wall you for 20%. And then, of course, you know, he has Blood Bolt, which is pretty cool. It's just a slow that he shoots from his mouth, which is, I don't know, feels good, man. Yeah, they don't really do much. They allow you to live one really hard ability. Like, if you really, really needed it, you could use it there. And live, like, a really tough ability. Like, if needed be, you could just kind of live there and, you know, not worry about dying because you have a 20% DR. You can stack it with Feign Death, stack it with Marksman's Advantage. That's kind of another thing I wanted to go over. Make sure that your hunter's marking everything with this. This gives you 9% damage reduction, so you know, if there's any mob within the pack that you can hunter's mark, just do it before the pull. It's only half a global, saves you a little bit of damage there. But it being half a global saves you a bit of time on using it, of course. But that's, yeah, that's pretty much that, I believe. I already went over all of that stuff. Went over macros, pets, cool pet utility you can do. So there are some decent things that you can do with your pet utility. So like my pet can attack this target, he can feign death, and he could still just give me procs. And the guy won't attack him either, which is so weird. My pet can kill command while he's dead. You know, like what is this game, right? Yeah, your pet can just kill command. I don't really know how useful that actually is. Excuse me. I don't really know how useful that actually is, but it feels so cool to know, I guess. The only other thing that would be let me just feign real quick. Um, would be pet stealth bug. So let me go back here, get camo. So yeah, whenever you camo, puts you in your pet in stealth, but your pet stealth, prowl, and camo both do not break until the pet auto attacks. So that doesn't mean kill command. You can kill command, call him back. Kill command, call him back. And look, he has a dot on him, he be ticking. He be ticking. You know, like he has a dot on him, he's kind of going through it at the moment. Um, but yeah, you can do that with your pet. Not super useful, not all that useful, but you know, just wanted to go over that. I thought that was cool. Also, your pet Feign, um, you can use this in conjunction with pet Growl to like kind of take the attention off of a target. So you know, if you send him in, pet Growl, pet Feign, you know, he acts like it never happened. It's whatever. Um, yeah, that's pet Feign bug, pet stealth bug. We went over that. Whenever your pet Mortal Strike, all of that information. That's pretty much it. I do want to make this one not as long as my last one, so I hope I'm better on time. I'm a bit sleepy, but I do hope I am a bit better on time on the guide. Pause my music there. But yeah, I did just want to thank everyone who watched my first guide or left a comment on my first guide. That was super exciting. Yeah, it was really cool to see I was helping some people out. But you know, again, I'm here to share the knowledge, share the love. So if y'all wanna leave some tips in the comments, leave some information in the comments, let me know. Maybe you know of a better pet. Maybe you know of something else that you can be doing in keys and whatnot. Um, I'd I'd be happy to hear. But other than that, just want to thank you again for watching the video and wish you all a great rest of your day. Y'all take care. Until the next time.